Hillbilly Harrison League. Punt Billy, kick Billy, pass Billy, hit Billy, Hillbilly Harrison League. Hillbilly Harrison League podcast.
Hey, welcome to the podcast. We've got Rennie on. Congratulations.
Look who it is.
Look at this.
Long time coming.
Yeah, season finale. We've got Rennie. And the Hoosiers won.
It's a beautiful night. A beautiful night. Whenever the Hoosiers win,
Yeah.
we all win, except for Junior.
What you drinking tonight, Rennie? What you got in your cup?
I have a Knob Creek single barrel. It's
You know-
enjoyable.
I was at the tavern tonight because my son was practicing, and I just grabbed some dinner with a friend, and somebody was if you sit at the bar at the tavern, that's just like an adventure because you never know who you're.
Oh yeah.
There was a guy that was about 8 Busch Lights in, and he bought a shot of Knob Creek for all of it, like all the waitresses and everybody else that was sitting there. And I was
Yeah.
like, no thanks, I'm good. But yeah,
Was Darren up there?
Darren was up there picking up takeout.
That's what they do. That's what they do. The Wilhelm
He's-
clan.
He said, I run into Darren, like every time I go in there, I run into somebody. But Darren's in there, and he's like, it was my night to cook. That was his line. So,
Well, when you said you were going up there a couple weeks ago when we were going to do this, I thought that you were going to tape from there.
oh, yeah.
Record from there. And I was like, all
Yeah.
right.
Maybe if I asked for the back room, we might be able to do it there. But the bar would be an adventure. So you got to wade through a lot of locals to do that.
We'd have to sit pretty close too to be on the same camera.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, man,
Well,
I'm
The
glad
Harrison
Rennie's here.
Hillbilly Fantasy Football League has now come to an end.
Yeah. Can you believe-
Another-
so,
What do you
we
think
gotta
of
get this- We gotta get this
17,
out of the
18
way, just so we're like 3 minutes in, and he's gonna be blowing us up tomorrow. Adam, congratulations.
Congratulations, Adam. Yes.
Yeah,
Another year well done.
Yes.
and he pulled off the feat that we always talk about. He won the league, and then he won the championship,
Yeah.
and both of them were highly contested. I mean, they could have won either way. So
It was close.
yeah.
Close to the end.
Another thing about though this year, not only was it like so close, there was every week it seemed like there was 3 or 4 out of the 6 games that were Monday night games. There was so much drama this year. Not only that there was, I think 16, was it 4 or 6 teams could have made it or not made it the last week?
Yeah.
playoffs.
It was.
Yeah, and didn't I tell Josh on Sunday? I said he was going to regret not having somebody play Monday because Monday's for winners, brother.
But if you don't have anybody, you don't. I mean, what are you going to pick up a free agent that plays on Monday night just for the heck of it?
The way that the season had trended, Adam having somebody playing on Monday night, that just felt like it was going to be the difference.
Yeah. And it wouldn't have taken much. I mean,
Exactly.
it would have, because he had Chubb and he only needed like 4 points. He only got 5 or 6, you know?
Yeah, that's how bad Cleveland is.
Yeah. Yeah, that was. But man, what a pathetic final though. They 70 something to, you know.
Yeah.
And the rest of us
it
were
was drama
in the
filled, but
120.
not scoring filled. Like the scoring one there, but the drama made it good.
I joked about it, but it wouldn't have surprised me one bit just because the way the season went. If like one of those last carries, if Chubb would have fumbled and it would have taken him, and that would have been it. 2 points. That know, he would have taken him out of the game for sure.
That would have been season. Yeah, that would have been this season in a nutshell.
Yeah.
Not happening. I mean, it started the first week.
We always give out some awards. So we've got our Hillbilly of the Week award, and unfortunately, we have no other choice but to give it to Josh.
Yeah.
And I think that he knows he left points on his bench, and any of those guys, any of those swap outs that he could have made would have been the difference for him. And hindsight's 2020, but I think that if he could redo his lineup, he obviously would.
Yeah. So that is a
But
tough hillbilly, though.
congratulations to Josh for getting there. He had a great
Yeah.
season. I mean, to take a trash team that Brennan drafted for him and turn it into a
Oh, that's been funny every week.
That just doesn't get old, does it?
Nope. So
So of course, that leaves Adam as the Miller Time final week team of the week for winning pulling it out, picking the
honestly,
right people.
he didn't start off real strong, but after probably week 3 or 4, he was probably the most consistent team all season.
Yep.
So you
Yeah.
can
And
count on
I
Adam
know
to make the right moves.
Yeah, he was consistent.
Yeah,
He
that's
wasn't
the thing
lighting it
is-
up, which I guess I could. We brought up, unless you want to, we'll save Rennie stuff.
Yeah,
Wanna
we got a
jump into-
surprise for Rennie. We got a
Yeah.
lot of talking we want to do about reminiscing about
So,
2013. But,
I did. If you haven't,
Right on.
For
That's
the
what I'm here for. That's what
3
I'm
or
here for.
4 people that watched this, I posted the final earnings of the season. So I was hoping to be able to go back and look farther and back in, but unfortunately, ESPN, beginning in 2018, they took away the notes, and so all my write-ups are gone. So I was only be able to look at 1920 and then this year, and I
Yeah.
don't have, I'd have to go through week by week and see who won high points, and that would take forever, and then try to figure out what the payouts were structured
Yeah.
way back then.
because
and
it
I don't-
changed a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we've changed it a few times, and so, but I do have 3 years worth of stats. Let me see if I
I'm
can.
the only person in the entire league that got $0.
Ever?
Yeah, there's
No, what, just this season? Hey, that
Oh,
side
so-
bet though.
so
side
let
bet.
me share my screen
Oh, he's got some official stuff.
and let's look at these earnings. So this is 3 years worth. Adam had a big year,
Daggone.
and that puts him at the top. If you look at, I don't know if you can bring it up. What did Adam win this year?
335.
335. So he didn't have very good last 2 years before this.
Yeah.
But he's at 360.
This catapulted him.
Travis 340. Strangely, I'm at 305, even though I have not won. I've came in second over the last 3 years once,
Yep.
but I haven't won. Junior won one of the years, so he's barely, behind me. Josh came in second 1 year, these last 3 years, 265. But then, then it drops off, after the middle.
Anything for 2 years.
It drops off down here. Some of these people, over 3 years haven't done so hot. So then we
Yep.
got these, just to bring it home, 3 years with 0 winnings. 2021 had Kevin.
I'm on that list twice.
Yes, you are. Yeah.
You haven't
3
won anything
people,
for
2
2
people.
years.
So it's there's parity, and so I thought this was kind of interesting. I compiled all the high points, and I think Randy, you actually mentioned it on the chat that it's pretty even. It doesn't seem like it is. It seems like the same people win all the time, but
Yeah.
if you look at this is, you think this was the first year of 17 weeks, so it's 16, 16, and 17. That's a lot of weeks. We got 8, 7, 6, 5. Kevin, Kevin's had a rough three years, but some of the things I thought were interesting was, Adam, he won this year. He only won high points once. He's only won 3 times in the last 3 years. But and
I was going to say, same thing with Travis. All Travis does is win. Like that dude, he's won the championship, I think, more times than anybody else in our league. I mean, he's so consistent, and he only has 3 high points in the last 3.
Isn't that straight? Like, and you think about like this year, Adam won both the regular season and the championship, and he only won high points once. Junior won, I think, in 2019, like 2 years ago, and that season he didn't win high points at all. And it's just strange. Like, consistency doesn't mean you have weeks where you're just, blowing up. So I don't know. I thought that was pretty interesting. So
Yep.
I'll go back and
Well,
we can see our.
The same thing with Adam, as he posted in the in our chat. He said his last, I think his 3 games in the playoffs were all won by a total of 10 points or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's just, hey,
mean,
one
this-
touchdown goes either way. But that's why I like paying, like some leagues pay the team that wins the overall regular season more money. But I don't like that because the playoffs are, the Kansas City Chiefs might have been the best team.
Yeah.
They might not win the Super Bowl, and so I kind of like it that way. It's a crapshoot in the playoffs. You might have a guy get injured. You might have 2 guys sitting because of the playoffs. Their teams in the playoffs, just the way it goes.
Yeah.
But
And
So Rennie's not drunk
I
here.
really-
He's just using a phone for this, so it's a little slow.
it's we just got a little Mac Headroom thing going on with Rennie. So it's
So good
well, it's
season.
kind of like the NCAA tournament. Like it's not about the best team in basketball necessarily. It's about who can get hot for 6 straight games.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, and
Exactly.
that really does, like the last 3 of the regular season, and then the 3 playoff.
Yeah.
Those are the
And we talked about it. Like Ed, man, if Ed could have got into the playoffs, man, he would have done some damage.
Yeah,
he was real close to winning high points back to back of the last 2 weeks. Rennie ended up passing him there at the end, but still he put up a 130. That's a monster number
And
for the final week of the season.
I don't know that if we've mentioned this at all, but there was a couple weeks there where Ed didn't fill out a whole lineup.
Yeah, no, imagine that.
I don't think that's been mentioned once.
No.
Not
Yeah.
not any place where he would see it.
Yeah, like that's true. Yeah, like maybe a guy that had been ruled out for 5 days and then he stays in his starting lineup. Something like that.
What? Doesn't that make it even more interesting that my team's so bad? I play every week.
You do.
Yeah.
And you make transactions.
Yeah. So
3
well,
years,
3 years, no high points.
no high points.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
It is. Well, this year I had some distractions. Putting on this podcast took a lot of my
Okay.
time. So
Okay. Yeah.
That's it.
That makes sense.
yeah, but it was a fun year. I think most of us already look forward to getting together again and
Yeah.
August and drafting again. And so I tell people, we talk about this on the podcast before, but like when I chat with other guys that are in fantasy football leagues, everybody's jealous of our league. Like just the way 12 teams, like that, how competitive it is, and how it's just been the same guys for so long. Dave's write-ups, and then when I tell people we do a podcast, like people are just like, "What? That's crazy." It's like I wish our team did that. Like I think most of them have more Eds than they do Adams in their league. You know what I mean?
How long have we had the same, like, I'd say 9 people?
Well,
What
we've
year
had
did
the
you
same-
join, Ad, or Dave?
Before 9 or 10.
At
I'd say
least
probably
a
been like 10
decade.
years.
I mean,
We've had the same.
well, we've had
10
the
people.
same 12 for 18, 19, 20, 21. So at least
Yeah.
4
have we?
straight. Yeah, we've had the same 12 for 4 straight.
Because
but
that's
I
very
think-
rare too.
Yeah, I think 5 years ago, Brennan and Brian, or one, I don't know who joined first, but they were the last 2. But yeah, it's been pretty consistent.
I would say like if we could go back to like probably when like Josh and Adam joined, whenever that year was, and Adam could probably tell us, but that's probably from there on. We had some guys come in and out, the Kurt Gashners and Bodie's whole family and
Ratty.
like that whole thing. But soon after that, when Adam and Ratty joined, it's been pretty much the same core guys for that whole time, and that's got to be like 12 or 13 years, I bet.
I've probably asked you but were you 2 in the very first season?
Junior played before I ever played, and Rennie
Junior
played
did?
a year before I played.
Yeah,
Huh.
I think Kenny asked me to play 1 year. with
Probably
him
like
and
in
his
98.
ex-brother-in-law. Yes, somewhere around there. It was like right as college was ending our last year of college.
Wow.
Yeah, like
then the
dial up to
next
get
year-
on to the. Yeah.
Am I
Yeah,
cutting out on you?
I told this earlier.
No,
when
he
was on.
said dial up that we were.
Yeah.
Back
Oh,
then.
yeah.
Rennie and I worked out in his parents' basement, and then we go up, and he had a computer, like a desktop, and him and his brother Justin's room, and we would go up there, and I wasn't even playing. He would just be checking. He'd be like, "Oh crap!" It's Monday Night Football. He's watching, like, what's happening. So that was my first experience with it. Was Rennie just loving it, telling us about it, and then the next year we went and to Harrison, to the Meadows, and drafted in some guy's living room.
Yeah,
And
I
I'd never
remember
played
that.
before, and it was the guy from from Napoleon Dynamite, the brother. That's the dude that ran the league, and so.
I
Yeah.
do remember that, and I know anybody.
Oh,
knew you
I
and
do.
Junior
I
and Rennie.
didn't know anybody but Rennie and Junior, and I didn't know a thing about fantasy football. So obviously, I ended up with Brett Favre as my quarterback because it was the only name I knew on that. I was like, oh, Brett Favre. Yeah.
I think my first year we drafted in your apartment, Rennie.
Oh, the condo.
Oh yeah,
Wherever
Yeah.
that, I don't even know where that was. Where was that?
it's right behind Kroger's in Harrison. Compass Point condos there.
And I didn't remember where I went,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but it was there. Yeah, we watched the Reds preseason game, I think, or that would have been, or no, that would have been not a
Might have been a
preseason.
Reds game with a Bengals
Bengals.
preseason game.
Yeah, like maybe both at the same time or something. And
Yeah.
That's probably when Kirschcaster, Wheat, all those guys
Yep.
were in there, weren't they?
Kirch and his son Beavis.
Yeah.
nobody had phones or computers. Only people, like, all we had was, like, some people just had
Paper.
sheets of something, or maybe a magazine, like a fantasy magazine or something. I think I brought.
Yeah.
But none of this spreadsheets and looking up people on your phone or anything like that.
Yeah. That's crazy. So
Yeah.
so as we're going down memory lane here, one of the things that gets talked about in our fantasy football league folklore is the 2013 season, Rennie. And so Dave and I were talking,
Oh, yeah.
and we wanted to
Mhm.
see how much you could remember from that season.
Well, the one thing I can remember is being pissed because I got the first pick in the draft.
Okay.
And I don't like picking first in the draft. I like picking like 4 to 7.
Yeah.
Well, I remember taking Adrian Peterson with the number 1 overall pick.
All right. We got some trivia questions for
Yeah,
you. That's
we got
one
some
of them.
questions for you.
Nailed it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That was one
Adrian
of them.
Peterson. Yeah. And then I remember thinking, I don't like the way Peyton Manning left Indy. So I want to draft him, but I don't want to draft him first or second. But I got him, and they're coming around the next way. I got 2 picks, and I believe I picked him 3rd, but it might have been 4th or 5th. But I
What?
picked. I
And
think
the stats from ESPN could be off. It
Yeah.
has you picking Sam Bradford as your first quarterback, and it has you picking Peyton
I-
15th. But that
I
could be
bet that was
I think
probably
it's
back
backwards.
when
I think
when
it's
I
flipped
used
the
to
other way.
enter them, and I didn't
Yeah.
never change the draft order before I did that.
I think it
Oh,
was
yeah,
the other way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He picked him.
But who was my second running back that year?
well.
That's
We
who
can. Yeah, so we can go through. I've got your whole team pulled up here. I can
Does
I can
Does
pull
the
it up.
name No
That's
Sean Marino ring any bells?
No, Sean Marino.
Wasn't he one of them?
He was well. So in his draft,
He might have been on my
he
bench.
had Frank Gore. He had Bryce
That was
Brown.
it. Gore.
But
Gore.
No Sean is who you started in the championship game.
Yeah.
Well, let's do some of the questions before we prompt him too
Yeah.
much.
Before
Pick-
we get
Yeah,
too much.
pick a
of
few
it,
questions and
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. All
Hit 'em
right.
up.
So can you tell us who you played in the Super Bowl the year of your undefeated season?
I cannot, but it might have been Junior.
It was Junior. There you go.
All right. So all right. So
All right,
first
side
round.
note, Do you
second
have
round.
any idea how Junior did in the season? Like, was he like that 7-6 team, or what? Do you know anything about the matchup?
No, I don't.
Junior finished second in the league, and he actually had 10 wins that season. Can you believe that? 10 and 3.
That's great.
Yeah.
10 and
That-
Paled in comparison to you, but
Yeah. Yeah. So we just
Good.
had some questions about like some of your other
Who'd you beat in the second round to get to the final?
I would think it was Flex Boy.
Nope.
Was it Flex Man?
No, you played me.
I'll give you a hint.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
Mittens.
You played me, and here's how bad it was. My team was 6-7, and I made the playoffs.
Yep.
I beat Dave in the playoffs, and was that the Kurt Warner game?
I don't remember. I don't like talking about it or thinking about it.
Yeah. So I beat Dave in the playoffs, so yeah, and then Junior beat Keith in the playoffs. Here's the thing, Rennie. Like we'll talk more about
Is that with Torrey Holt or not with Torrey Holt?
You scored 104 in your first round of the playoffs against Ratty. You scored 111 in the second round against me, and then you had a 99-69 victory against Junior. So it was 99.9 actually. You came real close to having 100 in every one of the playoff games. Yeah. And Dave and I went back through every game that you had like that season. There were more over 100 than not over 100. Is that right, Dave?
There was a lot of them, yeah.
Well, it was. I still remember the first game, Peyton Manning. If you look at my first game, I'd be over 50 or 60. He had Peyton Manning first.
So in week 1 of the season,
yeah.
You played Adam and you won 164-93.
Yeah, it was on.
Kind of set the tone, didn't it?
That's how you started. So do you know what your closest matchup was to losing your perfect season?
I don't.
What week and what was the number?
You can take a guess.
I would say that. Are you saying that what the point differential was?
Yeah, like around, just a ballpark.
I would say 8.8.
Ooh. That's close. So week 8, you remember who you played? Probably not. So week 8, you played Keith and you beat him by just under 7. Just like a touchdown. Ooh. That was your closest margin, was like 6 point something. Everything else was 8 to 100 more, you know.
Yeah. You had a lot of big score games. I mean, like we said, 164 week 1, 126 week 2. You had a few smaller ones like 87s and stuff. Here's week 3, 153 versus Flex Shady, 153-115. How'd you like to lose 153-115? Like, so you were putting up some monster numbers that year, and and the way we can't go in and see like every individual matchup, like who scored what, but in your memory, it was because Peyton Manning was dropping 50 times on people the whole time.
And it's like I had Peyton Manning, who was crazy that year, and it was like also having the Tennessee running back. What's his name? Tennessee Titans guy that got hurt this year.
Oh. Hunt or
running back. Henry every week can get you 30 points just because they give him the ball so much he scores touchdowns.
You had Henry?
No, 8.
He's just saying it was like that.
It was like that. Saying,
yeah. That's what AP was at the time. AP was that guy, and I also
Adrian. Yeah.
Adrian Peterson and Peyton Manning were basically beating teams.
Yeah, it was a season where you didn't even care who you had as wide receivers because between Peyton and AP, like you won every game.
Yeah, it was just them two. Like it was the first week I remember Peyton Manning having 60 and Adrian Peterson having like 28 or 29 or something that first week, and that basically was 100. Nice. But I just remember my mouth didn't shut up the whole year. Just imagine how I am.
And it hasn't since then.
Yeah.
The first 5 weeks this year were awesome, and then I just went in the shitter, and it just was like 5-0, 6-1, and then 5 weeks in a row of pure misery.
Oh. So
So
it's
what was that?
go ahead.
That season was what? 15 games, 13 games plus all three. 13 plus three playoffs, right?
16. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yep.
still do, and like we joke about it, but I still do every time that last person loses the game, kind of chuckle a little bit because I know that's
That's going to be tough to duplicate. That's one of those records.
Yeah.
Well, and it's kind of like the Patriots, like or like the Warriors in 2015. Like none of the regular season stuff matters. Somebody could go undefeated in the regular season, and maybe Adam did one year. I can't remember if somebody else has done that, but if you don't win the whole thing, if you don't cap it off with the championship, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It didn't matter.
Small potatoes.
Then you're in the middle to lower part of the list on the 3-year earnings list if you don't win or come in second.
Yeah.
Let me tell you. I'll tell you a story. I was at my business partner with A Total Tan. I went to one of his buddies' houses for the Patriots Giants Super Bowl when the Patriots were undefeated. The guy's house I was at, one of his friends had made a bet in Vegas that the Patriots go undefeated and win the Super Bowl. $100 to win $3.1 million.
Oh, gee.
The casino called him the week of the Super Bowl and said, "We will give you $1 million plus free hotels the rest of your life at the casino." And he didn't take the deal and lost the bet on that game. I would have said, "Write me the check," and I just would have enjoyed the game. But they offered him
my goodness.
$1 million plus free hotels, and he said,
Bad beat.
Yeah, it is. That David Tyree catch probably means a little bit more to him. That's probably. So let me just ask you a question: who's that sting more for? That guy that placed that bet, or Tom Brady? Which one of those guys felt that more?
I know.
Yeah.
Tom Brady's got a whole hand and a half of rings,
and he still got paid.
He got rings everywhere. That dude thinks about that.
Another chance of $3 million. Yep.
And he's got a Giselle.
Oh man.
Yeah. Did I send out that bet on the group chat, like where the guy cashed out and then all the rest of them hit?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I don't blame the guy. I do it. I would do it. I mean, you get up in that kind of money, it's not worth the gamble anymore.
Yeah, it's not like cut your losses, but it's like, man, it's like a bird in a hand. Like it'd be hard not to.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, yep. I was in for practice the other night at the tavern, and Fryer walked in. He said he's been trying to hand you some betting advice. So. Yeah,
he does.
He goes, I text Brittany every day. I was like, I bet you do.
He does. I'm like, I said, yeah, you're trying to give me advice. That's why he texts me every day going, who you taking tonight?
So we were talking off air. Maybe we'll have to just switch this whole thing into like a Yellowstone or an 1863 podcast, like all of our favorite shows during the off season.
I
don't know what I'm going to do on my way to work on Thursdays from now.
Yeah, so Kevin and I, when we're done, when we say we're done, we don't hit exit. We just talk for a little bit, and it's usually about shows. Like I've been watching that Mayor of Kingstown with Jeremy
Renner. It's so good.
I want to see that. You have to pay for that, don't you?
It's on Paramount.
It's on Paramount Plus.
I got Paramount because I have to watch Star Trek. It's like part of my DNA or stuff. So I have to watch the Star Trek stuff that's on Paramount. So I saw that it was on there. And
But if you want to watch 1863, it's in the same thing. So you can get it for a month for free.
Is it 63 or 83?
83, 1883.
I was gonna say.
Don't name your show a year. I can't remember it. It's
how much is it a month?
It's
Paramount,
like
I don't know. I have
7 or something like
all
that.
of them, so I
Bill got so much money. He's like, I don't know. I just put it on the.
No, I don't. I don't because I have every streaming service.
But Mayor of Kingstown is amazing.
It
like
is.
It's so gritty.
I know, I
it's like, oh. and I can't even. It's like mind blowing. Like the first episode will blow your mind. So
Good
So
stuff.
watch
Mayor
it.
Kingstown.
yeah,
I know. I know. I wonder what it costs a month because I might as well just get it.
I mean,
But
they're
it's Paramount
all
Plus, right?
I
they're
think
all
there's
under
two different.
10.
Plus.
They're
Yeah,
all
There's
uh,
two
5 to
different.
10,
There's
9,
two
7,
versions.
6.
There's one with ads and one without ads. So you can get it for like $6 or you can get it for like $10, I think.
I have the ads one, and it doesn't. They're only like 30 seconds. It's like
Yeah.
60. It's
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got
So,
it, Jim.
And it
That-
was
that was a little trip down memory lane. That 2015 season.
Did we get through all the
I,
questions?
I,
yeah, I
I
think
love that.
so.
I
Yeah,
love
because
that.
the other ones were wrong because I was at like not wrong, but like the way that you had it in the draft was
Yeah,
that
that-
you
you
picked
can't-
Manning last,
you
and
can't
that
ask
would have
draft
made the whole
questions.
thing different.
Well, I did want to. Do you remember who changed their team name to A Bad Draft Meets Inept Management?
I remember who did it.
No, what's that?
It,
I don't
it was
remember
because that was a year that Adam did really bad.
Yeah.
that.
So
Like
like
one bad year.
he finished with that name, all one word. A bad draft meets inept management.
Did he make the playoffs that year?
I don't know.
I can pull it up. So the playoff teams were Rademacher and Rennie, me and you. Don't cry over Spiller Milk. Who would that have been?
I don't remember.
You
you
sounds
click on it, it'll tell you.
Yeah, Keith, Flex, and Junior. So whoever Spiller Milk was made the playoffs. So I do not see Adam in the playoff bracket.
Man.
And that's a bad beat for Adam.
Yeah.
And that
was
may,
an
and I
extra
don't know,
special
maybe
year, huh?
that would have been like Adam's first or second year in the league. Maybe I don't know how long's he been in the league.
I don't know either.
So, yeah. So I don't know. Did you look, Dave? I sent this stuff to Dave. Did you look to see how Rennie's lineup changed from draft to the last one I sent you?
I only looked at the final. So
Yeah. So I just wondered on a year like that, Rennie, if you had to make any adjustments, like if you remember picking up anybody, or if you had to like.
I don't remember, but the only thing is my top two guys were so good. It just I don't remember too much of because Adrian Peterson and just Manning were just phenomenal that year. And so I don't remember even who I would have had at wide receivers and stuff.
Well, so you drafted AP, Frank Gore, Dwayne Bowe, Sam Bradford, Bryce Brown, Ryan Broyles, Kenny Britt, Denarius Moore, Noshawn Moreno, Hakeem Nicks, Pierre Garcon, Grotzkowski, Seahawks, Witten, and Manning.
Well, he finished with Witten, Garcon, Moore, Bowe, Marino all in his lineup. So he kept a lot of those guys.
Yeah.
They were in his final.
The only person he didn't roll, he switched out. You had Hauska as your kicker and not Grotzkowski at the end. But for the most part, those are all starters that you used. So and Moreno over Gore in the championship game.
One of the questions, I'm pretty sure that AP is the only guy on your final roster that played a down this year. Everybody else
There you go.
long gone.
True.
Yeah. So this whole
true.
podcast is a year too early because next year would be the 10-year anniversary of all this. But can you believe that?
We'll probably talk about it more.
But
Yeah.
I looked at my team that through 13, and I had like several guys that were still like T.Y. Hilton still in the league. I had a bunch of guys that are still in the league.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, like
So, although is Grotzkowski out of the league now?
no, but he
So-
wasn't on his final roster.
No, he wasn't on his final roster, but he did draft him. So
But yeah, I mean that's what 7. I guess that's 8. I mean that's a lifetime in football.
yeah.
eight
Yeah.
seasons.
Here's how good his team was so good that come the championship game, he didn't even have another quarterback on his roster.
There was no
Yeah.
reason to have that.
No
He-
need.
He learned real quick that Sam Bradford was not the
Peyton Manning holding a clipboard was probably getting more points than Bradford was.
yes. So, but no, I hope that everybody's had fun with this.
Yeah.
We've talked about it several times. I pitched this idea to Dave like a year ago. He was like, "What? I don't understand it." And I was like, "Oh, it'll just be funny. We'll just get together and talk about it." And knowing our league and the chat, I was like, "Oh, there's a few guys that would just eat this up." And I think that people have had fun with it. So it's been fun to do.
Oh, gosh.
So
We tried to come up with some dumb bits here and there. Your loser mask is still one of my favorite things of the whole season.
Yeah.
Is it still around?
The which one? The what thing?
The loser mask.
Oh yeah, that was good.
Like, I mean, that was
good.
just, I looked forward to seeing that the first several weeks.
Well, like Kevin said when he opened up, no league has even half of what we
that
do.
took longer than I expected. Sorry.
And-
I got to take the hat off. Sorry.
Yeah. I got to, we tried to do some comedy bits. We tried to do some skits. I sang a couple dumb songs.
I said, you know what? We talk about ratings and like viewership. Dave, I think that the moment we introduced you singing is when our viewership went way down.
Oh, well. What can you do?
Oh,
That was the jump the shark. Is that what it was?
yeah, we jumped the shark there when we introduced the live singing pre-part to the show, like when we switched from like the bot stuff to you actually on guitar, like the viewership went way down. And then when you started singing more, like I got a few emails about it, I just didn't tell you about it. It was like it's kind of like at church where I get those complaint emails, about like the worship being too loud.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I got a few of those. We just dealt with it.
Hey, when you have
You
a
guys are
forum, you
praising
got to
Jesus
use it.
Too loud over there, or what?
So
You got to praise Jesus too loud.
yeah, exactly. Praising Jesus too loud. And then what else did we do? Yeah, we had that. We tried to have fun. It was but and then we got to the
It was
end
one
where
of the
we were just
coolest
like
things.
talking to like 4 people.
Yeah. The morning I woke up with a thing in our group chat.
Yeah.
And it said podcast. I went, what in the hell is this? And I mean, it took me 5 minutes and I was hooked.
Oh.
So we got a whole off season to come up with bits, to come
Yeah.
up with fun things,
Yeah.
compile some numbers.
I mean, you realize that you two cannot not do this again. It's that
Yeah.
we're gonna be like, where's the podcast at?
Yeah.
There's no going back now.
And
You're gonna
like I
want to get
feel
in
like
this
that
league now.
the thing that people need to understand, like, because we've tried to get other people to come on, like the episode where Lee came on, like, and then when Brennan came on. So Brennan's episode was the only episode that I forgot to hit the record button. We ended up going back and hitting record and like fixing it and stuff. But like that was the only technical prop. That and I had to re-upload a video one time. But like when we have guests, it's more fun. Like Dave and I love talking to people, and it's been fun. So Junior helped host the time that Dave couldn't make it.
Yeah.
So like I don't know, it just it's been fun. I think the thing that makes like our league special is because like everybody loves hanging out and just getting together, and we don't get to do it that often. So this gives us an excuse to talk and stuff. So yeah.
If we had all 12 people on, like a whole team's video thing,
Yeah.
then I guess there'd be nobody to watch it.
There'd be nobody to watch. We'd have to be like live. Yeah. Even my son Jack, he was like, he was like, Wednesdays are for drinking, Dad. So I was like,
Although
it's like a bad example, but he's not wrong. So
I saw Jordan Rivera several weeks ago, and I was telling him about it, and so he wanted me to send him a link, and so I don't know if he's watched or not. And then I've had some old buddies that I'm like, hey, I'm doing this. I don't know if they've watched or not, but it could spread. We could have more than just the people in the league. It's,
yeah. So, yeah, I mean, McAfee called me. He was like wondering if we could do like a bid on his show. Yeah, he was.
And we have a sponsor, and Adam,
Wish you
he's
could go to
provided
Barstool.
drinks at least once. So
Oh yeah, Adam, if you're watching this is getting close to the end. I promise I'll send your side bet money with Katie to the preschool. I don't know how legal that is, that your daughter's going to transport money home for you, but it'll be fine. So he did say we're supposed to buy some more beer and Mountain Dew. So I don't know how much of that $50 he's going to get back, but it is what it is. So
I just read that Venmo's like, if you have
they're going to start taxing that stuff. Yeah,
it's like for the whole year. So like, I guess we got to,
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe I won't big money. That might be kind of risky because if you win twice, I don't know that.
yeah. If you get more than
I saw that too.
$600 dumped into your Venmo, they're going to start taxing it. So we're going to have to go back to old
The
school days.
government.
I know. Dang it.
Yeah, I'm going back to handing you cash, bro.
Me too. The government don't need to know anything more than it has to know about me.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I got to figure out a way to get Adam and Josh cash.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So, yeah. Well, Rennie talked about like
Nobody else got over 60, so
Yeah.
it's pretty easy this year.
Rennie's about to go into like the busy tanning season, but we talked about like having a end of the year party. That may be something we schedule for next year, like the week after, even if we just get together to watch a Monday night game or something. But that would be fun too. Like that way, then everybody just shows up and we go to the tavern and you get it twice a year instead of, like I get it like 52 times a year, but everybody else, you know what I mean?
Maybe present some awards.
Yeah, some awards. Yeah.
Now.
Yeah.
Who won the hillbilly of the week?
The most times and all that.
Yeah.
I don't
you
have
guys-
that
have
list.
you
Do you
guys
have the
totaled
list
that
of
up here?
the full?
It's not as
you probably need to update it. So
yeah, so
that could be that's postable.
yeah,
Both those lists.
but you know who won it the most. I mean, come on now. Like you already did the hillbilly thing. I was on the zero cash number like twice.
Yeah, you didn't make hillbilly of the week. You made hillbilly of the year.
Yeah, I think there would be it can't be. Yeah, you probably are hillbilly of the year for sure.
Yeah, we tried to spread it out quite a bit.
And Adam's definitely Miller Time Team of the Year for winning both.
Yeah.
So, real quick here, just because I'm on and we never told the story before, we'll tell the story about Torrey Holt. Does everybody know? Does everybody? I'm hoping I'm talking like asking a question like everyone can hear me.
Yeah.
But this is gonna be just us three. But Junior will enjoy this. So who would have gotten Hillbilly of the Week that week? So here's the story. 'Cause we've talked a few times about Torrey Holt and the illustrious dropping of the wrong player and someone picking them up. Which I don't know. Is that why we do the delay and people being able to pick up now and drop and things like that? Or
I think ESPN just did that, and probably because of these situations.
Well, what had happened was for people who don't know, and when we talk about that on the group chat, Kenny's mom joined the league one year, and 1 week she dropped, at the time, was the number one receiver in the league, Torrey Holt, on accident. Well, Keith picked him up.
Yeah.
Before she realized that she had dropped him.
I think that was Yahoo,
Well,
and they didn't have any kind of rules and stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
And
Well,
I think if you listen to Keith, he says that he was just kind of like he knew it was a mistake. He was going to give her back. He was going to give him back. Like it was just kind of it was kind of funny to him. And then like all of a sudden, and this was like when all of our communication happened within group chat, like in the actual app. So it was just like, and like somebody could post a message and then everybody would reply to it. So we had like a Torrey Holt message thing, and dude, it just caught fire. Like Keith started getting murdered, and all of a sudden, like, I don't know if you've ever made a Gailey mad before, but like
Well, Patty wrote this whole synopsis, or I mean, it was
Yeah.
like 3 paragraphs worth
But
of
but
just
and I think that she maybe said
tearing him up.
something in there, called him immature.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
that's a trigger word
Yeah.
for a Gailey.
Yeah.
That's a trigger word.
Yeah, and Keith was going to give him back, but he just wanted to be just a thorn in her side for a second, and Patty just didn't take it that way, and oh my gosh, it just was a war
Back
of
then,
words.
You say immature, and you end up with both Carls, the sister, and Keith at your doorstep with bats and
Hey,
torches.
So the season ended.
Oh yeah,
with-
he kept it. He kept
with
him the rest of the
Corey
year.
on Keith's bench the entire season. He never played him, but but Corey rode his bench the whole rest of the season.
And then did she not join the league the next time?
Well, so the year that she joined, it was Kenny's mom Patty joined, and Kenny's sister joined. So we had 2 females in the league, and I think we just, in our chat and in our talk, it's like not that
Right.
we're not anti-women. This is probably just for their best interest,
Yeah.
not to be involved in this.
Right.
My wife we're all a-holes. That's what she said. So
Well, that was before me. Is
Yeah.
that how I was able to join? Did both of those get kicked out? And
I think that you came in the next year. I think
Could have been.
I think
Well,
that Holt,
my
Yeah.
first season, you guys had already drafted, and I inherited a team.
okay. Yes.
Like 3 weeks in.
Oh,
Well,
3
so
weeks in,
think
I
what
paid-
happened that year is that we didn't have 12, and we just drafted a team thinking we were going to find an owner for it, and then we were like, "What sucker can we find to just manage somebody else's team?" Oh, hey, Dave.
I think I made the playoffs.
Yeah, probably.
could have been.
And then I think that Junior had inherited the league from that other guy, and he was managing it. And I think within like 4 weeks of you being in the league, Junior was like, "That guy's our manager."
Yep. Yeah, that guy's gonna take over.
Yep.
I think I
We
did
won't
within
have
the
it.
next year.
We won't have any Holt Gates. We won't have anything. Like, it was just like, that dude knows.
I'm putting a 4-day block on this. Yeah, I'm putting a 4-day block on this.
So thanks, Dave, for coming in and being like the best league manager that
Running it with an iron fist.
Yeah.
Eat your heart out, Adam. I know he doesn't. He doesn't always.
Taking all Adam's shit. That's
Hey,
great.
if it wasn't for Dave, Adam would run roughshod over our whole league. Like every rule would be to his advantage. Everything, like, he would look for every loophole. So we need Dave.
And Travis would have like 8 flex spots.
We would each have
We had
37
no kicker.
players on our roster, and
no
you could
kicker.
play all of them.
you would have 9 empty spots. Put in who you want.
Yeah.
He'd have 9 quarterbacks in there.
Yep.
You'd have 3
Right.
mulligans where you'd be
Yep.
able to pick people and put them in from your bench and swap them
Yep.
out. And
Have you heard of the Quattro Quarterback League? I don't know if you know
Yeah.
about that one, but
Man.
oh man. So Dave is our voice of reason in the calamity that is Hillbilly Harrison.
yeah,
So
it's a fool's
Yeah.
errand is what it is.
we need a little consistency in our life. So were you guys
That's
all,
Boat Ray one time. I'll tell a quick story about me and Boat Ray one time. He came and picked me. He when he was 15, I missed a whole year of basically hanging out with him because him and his dad built him a. I'm sorry if I got this year wrong, Junior, but it's a 65 or a 66 Mustang. They rebuilt the whole thing. Like today, it'd be worth, I don't know, $20,000. It was like pristine. And he's always been the voice of reason with me. But he came and picked me up in that, and he probably had. And I don't know if it was Huey, or Huey and Haas, but we were following somebody to a party, and I brought some fireworks with me, and he was like, "Don't light those in here. What happens if you drop them and they just go off?" And I'm like, "I'm gonna shoot them at the other car. You're fine. We're fine." And daggone it, if I didn't light one of those things, and I had it the wrong way, and it went right to his back seat and just all over his brand new Mustang. Just make a long story short, he was not happy with me when that happened.
What
Now,
did
if that would have been Keith.
no Keith
Okay,
would
well,
have
I won't get live.
he'd have been fine. I've got my own fireworks stories about Keith, and I don't think we got time to tell them.
No,
but
we probably ought to end this.
were you with us? It was a caving trip, so we had all met down at Andy Wilhelm's house to go caving.
Not
And,
that one.
a bunch of us had spent the night. So me and Andy and like 10 high school boys had spent the night in Andy's basement. And Keith, for some reason, couldn't spend the night. So he was 6 a.m. He's showing up. And so these boys, and Dave will know the names when I say them, but Graham and Chapman and these guys, they start shooting bottle rockets at Keith's truck when he's coming down Andy's driveway, 6 a.m. on a Saturday morning because we're going caving down in Kentucky. Well, we get in the red church van, and I'm going to take all these boys with us, and I'm driving, and the next thing I know, I got a bottle rocket that hits off the front windshield and lands in my lap. And I'm like I'm driving down the highway, and I'm trying to get this thing out, and Keith's like, turns around, he's shotgun, he's so mad, he's like, what are these guys doing? So next thing I know, Keith is shooting them back at that's his answer. And so like we're in Berea, Kentucky, and we pull off and we pull into this McDonald's, and the two swinging doors open up, and there's fireworks going off and boys falling out the door onto the ground, and we're right by the drive-through window, and there's this lady, and she's looking right at us, and she's like, oh, hell no. And she just points. She's like, get out. It was like we weren't welcome in that McDonald's, like as we pulled in. So that's my fireworks in a car story.
You were a solid youth minister, weren't you?
Oh, dude, I had no control over when Keith and Andy were with us. So on that same trip, BJ Murphy brought a friend with him, and we were meeting him at Ameristop. And so we're sitting in Ameristop driveway, and BJ and this guy are walking towards us that he's bringing with him. It was like BJ's wife's best friend's husband. So BJ didn't know him that well. He's walking towards us, and all the windows in the van are down, and all of our boys look over and go, who's that queer? And it was just like, that was.
Oh,
So my only caving trip with the young, like we were young, I probably wasn't that one. I don't remember any of that stuff. So, but I went on another one where we were in that whatever cave we were at, and I asked me and this young high school kid I didn't even know, we're like, hey, what, is that direction okay? And Andy's like, I think so. So we take off going, and we end up with nose, like the cave ends here, and our nose is here with water. And we don't know, and we just keep going forward, not knowing whether it's going to open up or not, or whether we're going to have to try to back up before we die.
Yeah.
But it finally opened up, and that's the voice of reason that Andy was.
Yeah. It's funny in our group chat because, I don't know how many people know this or whatever, but we went to Andy's house for the draft a few years ago. It's probably like 4 years ago. He fixed fried chicken for us. His son Noah was in our league. And so Andy's still in our group chat. So every once in a while, Andy will just drop in like a gem of tech, in there. It's just funny that like there's some dude that's not even in our league just like scrolling through all this chatter and just like, oh,
just nonsense.
Like, he's got to just be like, what are these guys talking about?
Oh, man, I know.
So, but
Alrighty.
Rennie, thanks so much for taking some time out of your really busy schedule to come hang out with us.
It's going to get there.
Yep.
Well, I appreciated being here, and you guys, thank you for what you guys have done all year. This has been.
And he froze.
Yeah, he froze solid.
We lost him. I mean, when Rennie goes, he really goes.
That's drunk Rennie right there. Look at that face. That is drunk Rennie. Just
and his name, I don't know if everybody can see it on there, is the Great White Hope. So
yeah. So did we decide? Is this it for until pre-draft?
Well, I've got I think
At
that
least
Brian's
live.
been helping me on a project. I hope to put out a best of. So
Okay. But I don't have to be a
that
part of
out.
that.
I'll tease that. And Rennie said, "Oh no, he
That's
got
fine.
booted right at the end." Rennie,
See you,
thanks
Rennie.
for being on, and Dave, thanks for everything.
So you'll do I don't have to be a part of that. I'll actually get to enjoy an
It's
episode.
just going to be clips of everything we've
Okay.
done.
Perfect.
Yep. All right, Dave. Thank you.
All right. We'll see you, man.
All right. Bye.